Hello there and welcome so much to Simplify Your Marketing, Multiply Your Results. We have got an absolutely slammed full video training here today. I want to thank you so much for your attendance. It is my sole job to make your time worthwhile today. That is the goal. My name is Hudson, and you're about to see some marketing methods designed to reduce your current state of marketing overwhelm while predictably increasing your results. Now, I realize you've probably been shall we say, misled about marketing outcomes before, but honestly, your very attendance here today is a demonstration of how simplified marketing generates higher results. Now, I'm going to explain that in just a moment, but I want to show you a method you can copy and probably others have not told you anything about before, and you'll see why that's the case as well. You're going to also see actual simple to implement campaigns that work for others. This is not theory. And it's also not something just to sell you. And at the very end, you're going to be able to get downloads and examples that you can merely plug into your business. Now, you can leave here today with a done-for-you plan to hit the ground running. I mean, does that sound good? Hopefully that's something that you can take from here and use for yourself. Now, to start this off, I believe that you're currently spending far more time and dollars and brain cells than are required for better performance. Now, this is probably not something you would expect from a marketer, but I'm at the point in my career where I'm really happiest telling people from the very inside story, not just who you want to hear or what may sell, but if it positively impacts your future, I am very gratified to deliver it. Now, I want to be pretty blunt. You are running more ads, more media with more messages than are likely needed for superior performance in today's overly distracted market. And I stress that because distraction is really a clue as to why your marketing is broken. You're being told, think about this for a second, you're being told to add inputs, to add messages, to increase communication and marketing channels when your market is already at the saturation point. So your messages are only getting more invisible at your expense. So look, I mean, no wonder your results have dropped. Now, you may have suspected some of this before. This is definitely for you. If you feel like you're confused over marketing options, you're trying one thing and another, you're hoping to find something that works, or a lot of times we'll hear people, hey, it doesn't work like it used to, and I'm telling you that cannot be the case anymore. The old model is dead and broken. Maybe you feel like you're trying some things, you're getting less results. You're kind of scrambling around. You're not sure how all these fit together, if at all, and I can assure you we will demonstrate that as well today. Or you're unable to measure performance. Now, I know we're told all these different parameters and analytics, but you're told about visitors and clicks and followers and likes and ranks. But look, are they adding sales? I mean, that's kind of the thing here. So look, don't let me sound psychic about this. Now, I know you feel this way because that was the marketing message that brought you here in the first place. That example is about to be very, very instructional for you. Now, today, when I use the word message or messaging, don't be confused. I'm referring broadly to ads or promotions, but the media explosion has rendered those words a little bit too limiting. So listen for the word message and messaging as it applies to ads. Now, as a matter of fact, the very two reasons that you are here today are the exact reasons your customers are going to respond to your marketing. And here's the first one. Look, this singular repeated message with higher response rate, which we've proven countless times, it's because of the focus on a singular repeated message is going to outperform broader vague messaging, which is your first lesson in gaining customers as well. You already know this, but you may not be putting it into practice. People's memories are eroded. Their attention spans are almost non-existent, and it's not getting any better. These two facts require depth and repetition of message to break through. Now, yet you're told to continue casting an ever broader net. I'm here to show you that it's false to hope that you can gain attention and focus in this way. The current market cannot see that. Now, speaking of focus, let me just mention a little housekeeping note here. I hope that just like in a real classroom training, you turn off your email, your cell, and your message notifications, And that's not because I'm trying to say, oh, I'm all important, but look, it's because the focus starts with you. If you are regularly distractible, you are merely remaining as prey to those who are out to destroy your attention span. This means your marketing decisions are also based on distraction when they should be based on attention. Now, interestingly, this is the exact problem that we are here to resolve today. So you must be able to give attention in order to learn how to gain attention. Because remember, your marketing's first job is to win your prospects' attention in an attention deficit world. If you don't get their attention, your ads and messages cannot have a hope of working. So today on this call, I went with the one message repeated throughout a well-targeted list of sources, and we used that one message only, which is called message integration. You may want to jot that down. You're going to hear a lot about it today. I have strongly advised message integration for our highest paying private clients for the last 2 years, and now it is time that all contractors had access to this information. Hear me. Broad random messaging across media is over. It's done. It has failed. Now, you may see some bad examples of ads today coming up that look, shall we say, a little too familiar, and it's because possibly they resemble some of the marketing you're using now. Okay, and for the second reason, see, your attendance here is also the result of highly effective yet simplified targeted marketing, what we call narrowcasting. Now, please understand, Hudson Inc. could have bought media as broadly as we wanted to. We're regularly published in about 6 different magazines and websites a month. We are partners to 2 of the largest contractor groups in the country. We could have blasted out dozens of messages to multiple contractor lists, hoping to capture as many names as possible for this training. I assure you, we have the means to do that, yet we did not. Instead, we strategically chose one message, as mentioned before, aimed at a very well-targeted group. See, we only used 2 media lists, not the dozens available to us at any time. We only used one magazine and one site out of dozens, and we were generously allowed space on the list of a few very well hand-chosen consultants, these folks that we know out of dozens, possibly, 100 consultants. Now, those consultants are also shown on this page. Now, their logos or links to their sites, for which I encourage you to review. Let me go ahead and share a little credit here. These are the top consultants in their respective fields, and I am happy to call them friends. Now, this is the list within the list, if you will, and if you want to call me about them, I'll give you the lowdown on them, but they are fantastic consultants. But the point is, you were invited by these folks, and if you learned something today, thank them for it, and understand they were not compensated at all for this. It is strictly about the relationship and respect that I have for them and with them, but most importantly, the one they have with you. See, to illustrate this principle at work, the average webinar attendance for the largest and oldest contractor groups in the nation who use the older style messaging, sort of like what you're using, and have vastly broader reach, the average attendance is 49. Yet the registration for this group today was 311, and it's still counting. People are still coming in, and thank you for that. I assure you this result is not for the speaker. It is because of the effectiveness of the simplify and multiply principle, which is clearly very, very efficient. Now, sadly, the message model that you are being sold most often mimics a very dead response model. Now today, I want to tell you about, there was one case study. A contractor went from 5 leads using the old model, and in one effort went to 61 appointments, making 2 simple changes. You'll see those later. Now, since these were for HVAC leads, those could easily pull, $300,000 in sales. Another smaller contractor used a much smaller mail piece only to just 3,000 people. He pulled in $52,000 in sales. Not a big deal, except it was in his slowest month of the year. Another, a Midwest contractor, he had sagging results for 2 years with, quote, multiple initiatives. He was convinced by others that complicated must be better. Maybe you've heard that before. But he put a simple method in place and generated over 100 leads in one attempt. You're going to see that one too. Now, in fact, simple integrated messages aimed at targeted markets has been the core of our highest paying private client success, and I'm excited to show them to you today. So I hope that sounds good. Hit me with a high five through the screen, and yeah, we'll try not to knock your computer over. But let me also mention that there is a third part of the current contractor marketing problem that is constantly damaging your results. You may want to write this one down. Media has reproduced and mutated right along with your messages in them. This is very important. Please listen closely. See, as you're advised to keep adding new media, piling on AdWords, review sites, local listings, to use a manufacturer piece with one message, your own direct mail with another, and your web dude's idea of what your site's supposed to say. Maybe your social media person and post carry a different message. Possibly you got a billboard company that suggests another one. Your sales manager is out there using a bill stuffer for maintenance agreements. And you are merely adding to the noise, not the signal. Today is about signal clarity. Check it out. Here is the big problem using fragmented messages like what we just described, those examples, why it doesn't work anymore. Every new different message in a different media dilutes your brand. It skims over the attention surface. It confuses your customers. It forces your message to be invisible, dismissed, or deleted, and it makes you blend in with the crowd. Exactly what you don't want, and this is all at your expense and the media salesperson's benefit. I mean, think about it. Just focus in on what this slide is telling you. Brain researchers have told us that to make a decision, the human mind seeks order and it repels confusion, right? I mean, we know this. We gravitate toward and we buy things that are clear, the messages that we understand. And as a pretty common example, it's why all menus are divided into food categories and even the order of consumption. Think you got appetizers and then salads and main courses. You add a side, you add a beverage, and then boom, you order. Desserts almost never make the cut. Why? Because the multi-billion-dollar food industry, who, check this out, listen up, who also wants you to spend the most money with the fewest questions in the least time at the highest repeat rate. Sound like somebody you know? They know that more than 5 decisions or distractions are too many. I mean, think about the other examples that are right in front of you. Why does Apple, the highest valued company in the world, constantly reduce and simplify their controls? Even think about their ad messages, how uncluttered and clear they are. Why does Southwest, with simplified options, limited access, and single messaging, outperform all other airlines combined? And by the way, Southwest was the single best performing stock over a 30-year run period. And next, how does Porsche, the highest grossing per unit of any car company in the world, win with only 5 primary car models using one message? It's about order, option reduction, and message simplicity. Yet, let me make this point clear. The current contractor marketing is that you spend money going broader and shallower when you should be going narrower and deeper. Now, if you learn nothing else today, I hope that sinks in. So as we start ripping through this lesson today, first we're going to look at improving the targets to maximize your efficient reach. That's a great one. Please tune in for that. Then we're going to look at crafting integrated messages that get response along with the results. Then we're going to build a simple marketing funnel. You'll see sort of a slightly bigger funnel, and then I'm going to trim it down to almost just the bare concentrated firepower necessity in greatly reduced media, and want you to see that result. Now, you're going to leave today with a model of efficient simplicity that is proven to work. Okay, hopefully that sounds good. I'm standing up, I'm on my second cup of coffee, and hopefully we can stick this thing out and learn something and go forward. Okay, now, increase your results by targeting the customers that you want. Now, since we're talking about higher frequency touch, with the same message, it only makes sense for you to focus on the targets that you want to get. You want repetition and chosen markets to become the choice for these markets. Okay, that's what you want to be. You want to own the targets. Now look, broad media reach is fine. I'm not against that, but broad reach without a strategy is not fine. So if you're still putting broad messages with every service and product into a broad-based media without regard to the recipient, and you're wondering why your results have dropped, well, it's because I call this yellow page thinking. Now, I don't care how sophisticated or modern the media is, it's still yellow page thinking, and I think we can see where that got them today. This is like you driving a go-kart on the interstate and expecting it to go faster. That's just not going to work. So here are the ways to maximize marketing efficiency through targeting. Specific target, COI. COI stands for Circle of Influence. Now think about it. In the very training that you're attending right now, we chose you, as in you are pre-screened from our list and those with whom we share the ideals. Yet for you, you also have non-competitive contractors and vendors in your town who have ideal customer list of people. Cash-rich, ready, solvent people, appreciative in the right areas and neighborhoods and homes that you know you can relate to. Now this means the obvious ones, like say the plumber who's a favorite with your HVAC customers, or the landscaper in the yards of the homes that you'd like to service, and the non-obvious ones too, such as the florist delivery service you're always seeing in the target neighborhoods. Now those people have fought to earn those client names just like you have for yours. Now this one strategy, again called COI, Circle of Influence, is a strategy you can use to laser focus on a desired, highly valued market instead of wasting money on broad targets. And you're probably thinking, look, hey, no other contractor or vendor is going to give me their list. And yeah, if you ask for it like that, you're right. They're not, and they shouldn't. But with the proper scripting and message to use their list for mutual benefit to both of you and the customers, it works. Now, you're not sure how to do that. You're thinking, I still don't know how to do it. Fine. At the end, I'm giving you the exact letter, email, and script that you would send to them to gain access. Hopefully that works for you. Okay. The value of this essentially free method really cannot be overstated because it is a high value group. And you're also going to start looking for like-kind attributes. That's mirroring, or 80-20. You should now be thinking of your best customer profiles and how that's shared with other people who are not your customers yet. Now look, data proliferation is at an all-time high. There's virtually nothing that cannot be replicated or found through data. See, the point is your best customers have clones. Well, not real life scientific clones, but people like them enough to, we'll just call them clones for convenience. They share interest and hobbies and neighborhoods and buying preferences. I would underline that part. These are the like-kind attributes. Now, Hudson Inc. is constantly putting together lists to extract the right customers for clients. See, I'm on the hook for performance guarantees, so we really have to super make that work and make it worthwhile to get the right list. Now, we suffer a whole lot of details, but you can still get very, very good success with the list selection of the following: age of home, home value, zip code or neighborhood, and if you want to include income or age of home owner, that would be 2 additional selects. But the first 3, man, if those match your best customers, you have a great shot at success. And that word mirroring up there, Facebook now allows you to buy ads and post them to mirrored groups. That means that those kind of share the attributes of your current list. This technology has continued to improve. About 2 years ago, it was not great. I would not have invested in it. Our tests came back rather negatively, but now that is improving dramatically. I'm going to show you some Facebook posts later that you can use with your own list, your mirrored list, when we get into messaging. And anytime you can match attributes, you're going to get a higher response rate than just guessing, which is what too many people are currently doing. Now, I could spend the entire time today discussing that 80-20 comment up there, but look, here's the truth. Your company's real gold is in that 20% of your customers who are generating 80% of your sales. That is not myth, it's in there. Simply analyze your previous 12-month sales in search of those people, ferret out the commonalities, just as I mentioned, and it's like rocket fuel to your results. I mean, every marketing coach here is also trained to help you clone those target buyers. Look at the 80-20 very hard. Next, you got community. We use the connection that you have with your consultant or your list to introduce ourselves just as you do at a social event. I mean, it sort of telegraphs that we've kind of been pre-screened and thus the acceptance rate is higher. Now, this is called authority linking. It's like birds of a feather comment. The same thing for you. Your targeted group may not be conveniently located inside a few neighborhoods. So start asking yourself, what does your targeted group like to do? Who do they follow? Do they share church or school functions or social events? What else do they buy? As you take notes on your ideal customer avatar, I promise you ideas are going to come to you, because one of my goals today is to help shape your thinking and change it a little bit. Like right now, it's like you're trying to fish in the Atlantic Ocean, blindfolded without a map. I want you to learn to pinpoint the hot spots with the most intelligent accuracy that you possibly can before you even set out. Now, this is going to require some thoughtful adjustment on your behalf, but it will pay you back tenfold. Yet pulling our head out of the clouds, the most powerfully capitalistic reason for doing this is to increase your sales close and sales cycle rate. I mean, goodness gracious, when you strategically aim your marketing messages, you are no longer wasting time with customers you probably don't want, or you can't close, or who are going to price shop you into the next century, or maybe they take you out of your travel radius or into a neighborhood you don't want to serve, or maybe they're just a pain. And I'm going to say something that sounds a little anti-capitalistic, but this is actually the truth. I mean, I'm looking out for you. Life is too short for cheap, rude, unappreciative customers. I mean, Lordy, you probably have a few you'd send an Uber and give them a ride to your competition and buy them all lunch just so they'd go. But I mean, look, just because a person has lights or plumbing or a comfort system in their home, it doesn't mean they should be your customer. I hope you agree with this, but that's the truth. You could spend more fruitful time in a day with appreciative, loyal, repurchasing, high review rate type customers who refer others. That's where you want to focus. You want to market to people who have a, quote, predisposition to purchase. Now, too much marketing is not targeted. It's just tossed out there, hoping it'll work. Now, let me point out that M2MM at the bottom. Your marketing is not going to accomplish its goals without an M2MM. That is a message to market match. And this is among our time-tested strategies. When this is followed, your sales closing rate goes up, your time with valuable customers improves, and the whole metric of the promotion soars. This is a large part of how Hudson Inc. has been able to offer pretty ridiculous customer-centric marketing guarantees for 16 years, while we have seen many others in this space come and go. So now, take a breather. You've seen how to focus on a more eager, better target audience. That's the fastest way to generate higher response. So now let's put messages in front of them that yank in the results. Now, keeping that fishing analogy alive, I don't know, it's some reason on my mind. Let's put the bait in front of them that they cannot resist. Does that sound good? Is everybody still with me? Cool. All right, let's move forward. How integrated messages crush the response rate. This counters what you had seen before about this is the new style of messaging. Now, we're going to take a look at the ads that work and the ones that don't work. Now, let me just mention a little quick story. A client called in this week. He told us, he admitted that, we had put together a direct mail program for him to launch last season, yet somewhere during there, he kind of went silent on us because he got wooed in by an internet leads provider service who assured him top Google rank and massive social media results for quick, cheap leads. He spent $11,000 over the 90 days, and he got 5 documented leads. He had to pull out of the contract with a little pressure. So, turns out cheap can be very expensive. Now, in his estimation, this did not work. It was a failure. He was back to the direct mail campaign. He wanted to do that because for the same money, he could have hit 5,000 focused targets 2 times and piled in far better results. Now look, I am not anti-social media. I'm not against web-generated leads. Those can both have phenomenal value in the community and relationship realm. But in the terms of Facebook, that's a social media, and the sales messages are pretty much unwelcome. And it's like you handing out business cards at a cocktail party, or worse yet, a funeral or something. I mean, you need to be placing the social media posts that direct them off of that site onto yours. Now, I have a hack I'm going to show you later, which definitely works. I'm not anti any media as long as the message to market match rule is not violated. And also the notion of what works being clearly defined. Now, the following should change your thinking and save you some serious heartache. When someone says to me, I tried Facebook and it didn't work, or I tried mail or whatever and it didn't work, what does that mean? Are they saying that people in those media do not have indoor plumbing, or they don't have HVAC, they don't have electricity? Of course not. Or are they saying that no one is viewing or listening to those media? Well, they can't be saying that because people are. What they are actually saying is that the message that I put in that media did not work. Plain and simple. The message is more often the failure point with your marketing. People need the services you offer. They have access to the media. They did not respond to your message. Now, most contractors we talk to are not aware that ad messages are like tools. They have particular purposes, and there is not one ad nor even one tool that can do it all. I mean, you know that an adjustable wrench is a crummy replacement for the exact right one sized for the job. You can kind of hammer something with vice grips. We've all tried it. Kind of messes up the vice grips and the thing you're trying to hammer, but that's not their purpose. All ads are not for leads. Please quit thinking about ad and start thinking about strategy. So define what works. Do you want more leads? Do you want a higher image with deeper branding? Do you want more likes or site visitors? Do you want greater retention or referral rate? See, all those could be what works, but you have been told that an ad with everything you offer or sell or service can be crammed into an ad along with some dumb starburst or discount with logos and images of service vans and some worn out tagline. Those are called institutional ads, and they do not work. Integrated messages, however, do work because they reinforce your brand, they build your image and price position, they multiply leads, as you will be seeing, and they force a buyer's attention and response through differentiation and repetition. And I had just recently referred to the institutional ad, and so let's take a look right here. This is an institutional ad, and I kind of want to kill it. It is trying to go everywhere at once. You'll see that the top of it is not even a headline. It is just merely a category restatement. Then there are several bullet points. And by the way, this actually is a real live ad. And please do not let it come on that I'm belittling the ad or making fun of the ad writer. I am not. I'm merely trying to illustrate a point of what is scientifically proven to work today and what does not work today. We did change the name, we did change the phone number, but anything like this that goes everywhere at once, I promise you, if you're trying to be all things to all people all the time, you're going to be nothing to most of them. This is the type of ad, and even though this looks like it was a print ad, possibly a postcard that went out, it doesn't matter. If your website looks like this, or your billboards look like this, or your radio ads read like this, it is the same thing. Institutional ads do not work. They also lower your image, which automatically drops your perceived value and your pricing. That's not a good strategy, by the way. You should remove all institutional ads from your marketing. If you look at the current trend in web design and high quality web design, you're going to see far less clutter, far better order, organized options, because people do not want to try to figure out your message anymore. They can't do that. Now, this would be an example of an after ad that can say very much the same thing, getting the point across, but in an entirely differentiated way. You see, there's the front, of course, the little girl sitting on the counter with the sink overflowing. She's having a huge time. Obviously, that wouldn't go over so well with dear old dad. And here's the back. You don't need to read all this, but essentially this is an ad that is a restatement of the value. The bullet points is put in the customer's language. And by the way, institutional ads are famous or infamous for constantly mentioning the company. It's us, it's we, it's our. And I'm telling you right now, you need to change your language to the customer. Mention you and your 4 times as often as us, we, and our. Because your marketing is your image. People do not know that you're of high integrity or super honest or super fair. They're judging you by the ads and the marketing that you have out there. And if it's a bad reflection, a sloppy ad is going to look like a sloppy contractor. Here's another one, heating and air. Once again, this is an official real live ad. You've seen things just like this before. Most people do not even know what the word coil means. They think coil is something that is inside their mattress. They don't know that that's something that would be an expensive part of an HVAC system. Tired of high utility bills, tired of adding refrigerant? Goodness gracious, if they're adding refrigerant to their system constantly and they're tired of it, do you want that customer? I'll let you answer that one. But this is just the type of ad. It's a price gathering ad, and please, heaven help me here. This statement right here: for all your heating and cooling needs, please spare me. That is the worst phrase in all of marketing. It was probably great about 60 years ago when nobody else used it, but now everybody uses it. It's for all your blank needs everywhere. This is the type ad destined for failure. This one is also an actual ad, and I had to change this one. You will see the after version of this. It's a service request ad that was done on, I think, probably a 1972 dot matrix printer that didn't know there was such thing as a lowercase font. I mean, who can read this? Have you actually got to be R2D2 to even read this thing? I mean, what is that? So, you know, is it time for your AC or furnace tune-up inspection? Here's the smart aleck response your customers are asking. I don't know, you tell me. Okay, this is just, I'm sorry, I almost used a bad word. This is not a good ad. It is lowering your image. It is not giving anybody a message of your branding. It is not befitting of your quality, nor is it influential in any possible way. This, however, is a completely different type of message differentiation. If you've heard the dark and dirty secret, why men shouldn't babysit. Okay, yeah, I realize it's a slightly different angle there, and these are postcards and letters and ads and billboards and web videos that we have all throughout different services, the primary big 3 that we deal with, but they're completely different in their regard, and they are met differently and received differently by customers. Now, some results from using the powerful messaging over the former messaging that you saw. And these are just contractor customers that we have had who were a little bit amazed at what you've just seen. Some of the top contractors that we've had through here, you know, we beg for response and results because, you know, we like to not just show the testimonies, it looks like they're bragging, but we have to measure all this stuff. Now, I want to mention right here in the bottom right, the one from Mark Hughie, who, by the way, don't tell him, he thinks his last name is pronounced Hughie, even though we all know it says huge. But anyway, Mark Hughie, buddy, I hope you're out there within the sound of my voice. You still owe me a fishing trip for having done this. But, you know, he sent out 4,881 of the letters to the target group suggested, generated over 100 appointments. This is unreal. Now, look, man, I'm like super clapping, happy for this. But the main thing is that he's right at the bottom, happy to, where's my little cursor? Happy to have this tool in my arsenal. Man, I'm happy you got it in there too, because now you can reuse it. It's not just about doing it the one time, it's about having a program. And same thing that Vicki Riddle, this was to me, I mean, it's awesome that she got 50 grand in sales, etc. She had done okay previously with her marketing, but, you know, now she's up to 50,000 in sales from one effort. This is the coolest thing she said. I plan on doing this every time. You see, this is when you start having a system and a program in place that can be repeated. That is the point. You want it to be repeatable. I mean, if I just do something for you one time and you pay me, you know, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 to create a letter or a web page, great. That sounds like a lot of money maybe, but if it generates 50 grand in sales, cool. The better thing is that you start to implement it regularly. That is the real point there. Now, the direct response formula, let me just mention something to you. People think, they kind of get confused on what direct response is or what it means, and I'm out here to tell you that it is a particular type of message, and it is it is only about results. You hear things that are branding messages. Well, those aren't direct response, and neither is the other. Retention messages, that's a different type. That's to keep your customer, to generate referrals. Direct response is pure and simple to get sales. It's all about influence. So direct response copywriters are the highest paid ad designers by far. Now, my coach, Dan Kennedy, charges $50,000 for a one-page letter, a one web page, or for a 7-minute script. 50 grand, and he gets 2% of the royalties for life. Now, fortunately, following his training, I'm going to have to throw this in here, I actually won a car from him in a national contest. I still can't believe it, nor could my kids at the time. It was mighty impressionable, but anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there because of my sadly under-accomplished life. I just thought I would chunk that in. But we have studied direct response for quite some time, and direct response ads are quite different. First of all, there is a headline or a subject line. This could also be the title of the video, and in the case that we were talking about today, it was the title of this particular lesson today. Well chosen because we feel like it had an impact. It compels attention. Notice the word on the right underlined. Next, direct response formula would be to illustrate a pain, to talk about something as a lack or a gap or a current problem people are having. That is to generate interest. Please circle these words on the right if you are printing it out or you're taking notes. And then you want to gain, you want to build emotion for an outcome. You want to show people that there is a way out. There's a ray of light. There is help. Someone else has figured this out, and you are willing to show it to them, exactly like with your services and your products. That builds desire. And in the how, you got to illustrate your unique solution. We've done this countless times in our copy where we talk about your installation techniques, your ability to save energy, your drip-free guarantee, your ability to install a generator that acts as if there was never a storm. All these things help build desire even more, and you've got to do that today. And now, this is where the direct response formula really comes into play. You have to inspire action. You cannot leave it hanging. You cannot be the guy who just stands in front of the girl waiting for her to ask him to dance. You have to actually be proactive. You have to tell them there are reasons to act now. It could be that the season's coming to a close, that there's a limitation, which is also illustrated here in the boosters. There's a limited time, there's a limited quantity, there are limited sizes available, there's a limited travel or installation radius, there's a limited season. Any of these things to impose a limit, because let me just tell you folks, you jot this one down too. An offer without a limit is not an offer. Enough of this trying to be all nice about it. Those are different ads. Those would be image and branding ads. A direct response ad is to get the phone call. I can't overstress that. Meaningful specifics, talking about, instead of saying, hey, we're fast and reliable, why don't you put numbers on it and say 92% of our service calls are handled in the same day, and a day to me is 24 hours. 92% shows you care. Actually, we put in another guy's ad, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a little copywriting tip. He actually had 96% of his customers were dealt with in the same day. He had a huge service fleet. He had a huge service fleet, and we put at the bottom, we're working on the other 4%. For a letter you're about to see later, be looking for it from the AC guy of Tampa. We had another clever, meaningful specific that I'll tell you about. And then put a guarantee in there. Tell people what will happen if you don't respond on time. What will happen if they don't save as much energy as professed? What will happen if they do have a leak or their basement does get down? Any of the things. If they don't have endless hot showers after you install the tankless water heater, any of these things, you have got to spell it out to get the response. Okay. Now, you saw people who did awesome with direct response. This is the formula for you to follow, and here is a completely integrated campaign. Now, this is big. I'm going to run through this pretty quickly here, so you just sort of flash. I'm going to flash it up on the screen. That sounded a little suggestive. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Get the children out of the room. I'm going to put it up on the screen in these different formats and just look and see. Imagine your company having this type of marketing in place, the integrated messages for print. See this particular one, what do you mean allergies aren't normal? See, we are now talking to people. Let me tell you the reason for that headline. I can't talk to people about are you hot or are you cold? Everybody else has done that. What do you mean allergies aren't normal? Or talking about duct leakage, filthy ductwork, the whole house solution. It opens up a plethora of things that aren't are you hot or are you cold or can I sell you this thing cheaply? So please understand, no matter what trade you're in, start to think of a bigger group. I guarantee there are a lot more people suffering with allergies and sinus problems than there are saying, hey, I have a cold spot in the corner of my study. That ain't happening. So, but anyway, that's a direct mail letter. There's a postcard, same chick about to sneeze. Good Lord, give that lady a handkerchief. Community paper or local print. Here's a yard sign. The reason it looks slightly different is because this can be reused. That little QR code goes to the other video online. Here is a billboard, same exact imaging as you can tell. Here's a Facebook post about her. And we like using photos in the post to try to drive people offline, and not offline, but onto your website, get them off of Facebook. But we continue to post helpful things. Next is an email, and then there is an online video that we've already produced all these. I'm not asking you to go build these. I mean, we've built them. In fact, if you have a Power Suite, if you're a Power Suite customer, you have all these. You've got like 24 different campaigns and all these different media, and this is what you should be using. But that's, just imagine, you can have integrated messages in all those different types. You can, and I'm going to show you a way slimmed down version in just a moment of the hyper concentrated, powerful version. So when we looked at this big, long campaign, again, which we have built, we started thinking, okay, this is a simplify to multiply video training course. What are the top performers? And we had to get rough here. And by rough, I mean cut, only leave what was really valuable. I read the other day a great little quote that said, knowledge is the addition of information. Wisdom is the subtraction to the essence. And that's where we are, is to the essence. So in the print world, look at the ones that did not make it. Oops, EDDM blast, that's Every Door Direct Mail. Man, that's a great program by the post office. It did not work as well for this. It was harder to target. The uploads were very difficult. The delivery rate was not great, and it just kind of looked junky. So we were unable to really produce great results out of that because it broke those rules. The community and local print, sorry, I love local print and it can work, but in this case, remember, we are down to the firepower. Outdoor, oops, the yard sign lost. Too many neighborhoods don't like them. What a bunch of losers. And the billboard, it's just hard to get people's attention enough to generate response. Again, I'm only looking for response. So it got cut. Oops. Electronic, another couple of oopses. Why did radio lose? If you're in a small town community with one dominant talk radio station, that's probably an awesome resource for you. If you're in Chicago, not going to be working. You just, you'd go bankrupt before you paid their bill, and then you wouldn't be able to pay mine. So that's not cool. Same with television. We had to rule it out. Again, we're only for the top ones. Now, online, Facebook posts, you heard me say something bad about them earlier. Not really. What I was trying to do is align that they are for relationship. They are ROR, return on relationship. But the AdWords didn't make it. Why? Once again, the vagary of the targeting. We could not get enough good, fruitful targets out of it. A lot of traffic, a lot of web visits, not a lot of appointments. Goodbye. Online video, dang it. We invested a lot of money in the online video, and I'm telling you, for those of you who are a little bit more sophisticated or advanced in the marketing realm, that will work for you. Underline it, will work for you. But even though we produced it for people, a lot of people did not use it. So if you have a Power Suite, you have all these media to use. And I'm saying right now that if you want killer fast response, we trimmed it down to this. And here is the very abbreviated model. Boom. The full offer via mail could be a letter plus a postcard inside there, a Facebook post that points, and an email that points to your website. It just goes straight there to a sales page. In other words, basically the offer that's in the little envelope is the offer that's on the website. Once again, integrated. You're repeating that message. And then, boom, those all go to the telephone. That's a very simplified sales funnel right there. Not the 20 pieces, not the 10, not the 5, down to just these 3 or 4 if you count the sales page on the website. But again, they all look alike, they act alike, and they are rather killer cool. Here's what it would look like, sort of blown apart a little bit. Here's an oversized direct mail postcard and direct mail letter right there. And you can see it's nice graphics, and this one has performed quite good. This is obviously for a replacement letter. Next would be the social post, which again repeats the offer exactly as it was in the other pre-done. You see that blue link right there, how to beat the risk now, click, boom. That would jump right off to the sales page on the website, which of course we have written as well. Next, oh, this is kind of neat, the 9-word email. Now look, all our emails are not 9 words. I assure you we have some that are very developed. In fact, with the particular campaigns that we call direct hit, there are many emails that come with them, but one of them, the 9-word email, this is something anybody can do. It basically, the subject line is time to talk. That's very important. And the line in there is, are you still interested in? Whatever it was, it's how to do a hot follow-up for the lukewarm prospects. You cannot believe the way this will pull in people who had previously responded, and then they just sort of went, a little bit lukewarm, maybe not completely cold, but just haven't heard from him in a while. It's flat out incredible. Oh, and right down here, this 5 questions my texts get all the time. That's a link we always put in the signature line. We've got several of those we can put in there, and it will lead to a different a report online, kind of a positioning report. And here we are at results. Now I realize this is absolutely almost impossible to read. I didn't know how else to put a case study on here, but let me just show you just the highlights. The AC guy at Tampa, I hope you're out there listening too. That was very fun to work with you. You're a good guy. You got a lot going on. He's in, look, Tampa, Florida. It's, they don't know what winter means. I mean, winter to them is like when it goes to be, like 65 degrees. They're breaking out the snow shovels. But anyway, it was the slowest part of the year by far. I mean, there's not a lot of tourists down there. There's a lot of places that are actually closed down there. So he had marketed to this area. I mean, hats off to the man for trying to continue to work hard in an area that is very difficult in that time. That obviously gets very good when it's warm, but he had marketed in the slow time before, generated 4 replacement leads, sold 3, good closing ratio, total of $14,600. And after, we talked through it, the coach here figured out a direct response offer that we had right on the shelf, just a simple direct mail. Actually, he didn't use any of the email or the Facebook. We have it and, wanted to use it, but, he just chose not to, which is totally his call. It's not mine. I mean, I'm not spending the time and the money doing it. But anyway, he got the package and only used the direct mail piece. That generated, from 4 before, he got 16 replacement leads. Same group, same time of year. Let's see, you can see his notes down there. Let's see, okay, well, I'll circle that. There's the 4 before, then he got 16. There's my other little circle down there. You can read his notes if you're able to pull that up on the screen. But in any event, the cool thing is he received calls from, this is kind of funny, right here, received 2 calls from customers who weren't ready to replace their system, but read the letter and called us to say they wish they needed to replace to help us out. A mercy call, I guess, which was his comment. But in any event, obviously people were reading it and they were moved by it. They were emotionally pulled in, which, is gratifying to us here because that's what it's supposed to be. Unlike some of that junk we saw earlier, forgive me, I sort of let that slip. I had this feel-good moment and then I had to get all insulting about it. Let's see. He closed 7 already. He's got 2 more, 52 grand. Basically, let's just talk about it. 4 times the previous result. Now, here, cool thing, he says right at the bottom, you can see how much better his customer base did with 11 leads versus 5 of the other. The point of that, folks, is never, ever, 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 did I say that enough? Ever throw away a warm lead. Those become a warm list. There's no such thing as customers and everybody else. There are people on the way to becoming customers. Part of the reason for this whole integrated, repetitious marketing is to continue to warm people to become the respondents. Now, you have seen the results. You've seen how to get a better target. You've seen how to create a better message. You understand integration. You understand you can trim out a lot of the fat from your marketing. So here's how you could put a program in place. And here are your options right now. What are you going to do? What do you do with this information that you've gathered here today? I mean, I hope you do something. So the first option is don't change anything. Your marketing's doing cool just as it is, and that's fine, man. If that's what you're doing, great. Go for it. We would love to talk to you about tweaking anything you got going on, but if your marketing's working great, fine enough. You can create a program from scratch, or you can pay somebody to build and to test one for you. Ad agencies do this all the time. You know, you can get a graphics person or copywriter, a strategist, a media buyer, whatever you want to do. Put together a program and, you know, see if it works. We charge about $300 an hour for creative. They charge about $300 an hour. I'd put ours against anyone's. Again, talking about Mr. Braggy over here. Probably shouldn't have had that second cup of coffee, but in any event, it's about specialties. And if somebody can show you response rates that they've gotten, go for it. And the last option would be to let us hand you 3 completely built campaigns and deploy them for you. Now, if you're at all interested in that third option, we are ready to do it for you right now. In fact, it's called the Direct Hit Marketing Funnel Package, just like what you've seen here today. Various other examples from electrical, plumbing, and heating and air conditioning. Obviously didn't have time to show you everything today, but just know that we've got 3 integrated marketing campaigns we would love for you to try. That includes 3 direct mail letters in each one, plus the postcards and the emails, the Facebook posts with the graphics, the complete how-to instructions come with it as well. A member-only website access to download these. A coach here will be pulling you through it and showing you exactly which ones to put together, help you pick them. The complete sales funnel is ready to use. If you purchase those separately, $4,500. Now, during this, and you expect, of course, I've got you here on the training. I'm hoping you will take us up on a good offer. You've spent an hour here with us, and hopefully this is worth it at $697. That is your direct hit price for all 3 campaigns. And you don't see a buy button yet for a very good reason, because I'm not completely through making this fantastic. So anyway, the guarantee that comes with it, like you would expect. Look, basically, you get the program, use it, use the post and emails, etc. If your results do not return 10 times your license fee and net profit, I'm not talking about gross sales, net profit, just return it for a full license refund up to a year later. I'm not going anywhere. We don't hide from people who need our help. Look, we're on the hook to make this thing work for you, because I don't love giving refunds. How about that? We want you to kick with it. In addition to your direct hit campaigns. Bonus 1, this is mighty cool. Had it at the home show target. A lot of you folks are going to home shows. This is a manual that will show you precisely how to set it up, how to do the banners, how to orient people in your booth, what to do, what not to do. It was fun to write this. We got some tremendous results out of this. That is yours with this. Also, customer service excellence for contractors with scripts. We interviewed one of the top CSRs in the nation for contractors. Got her scripts. We modified a few. We take everything from the want to think about it people, to the hesitant to schedule, to the ones who want a price on the phone. This will tell you all the stuff, how to overcome that, which is pretty cool. And this one may be the best one. Full month of 1-to-1 marketing coaching through our program here, plus a monthly expert podcast, which is where we interview any number of experts, occasionally even a contractor who's done really well, and get the inside scoop. It's stuff you're not going to hear anywhere else. That's another $300 of value, and it's still just $697. And hallelujah, look at the bottom, exclusive area. This is rather meaningful. We had not really done this previously, but we are going to offer an exclusive area to one contractor per area. It's how we define it. You know, we want, the reason we do that is we want full strength results for one contractor in the area. I mean, that is what we're obviously out to do, and it doesn't make any sense for me to try to make a few $100 extra when I could lose a contractor in the process. So that is for you, the one contractor per area. Again, the buy button has not shown up yet because I want this to be fair for everyone. It's not fair if somebody gets in and tries to dominate the area just to withhold somebody from using it. So it will show up in just a moment. Thank you for your patience. Now, your direct hit marketing funnel package is going to include, let me just reiterate, the marketing campaigns with the letters, the postcards, the emails, the Facebook posts, the bonus ebooks, the bonus coaching. And by the way, even if you exercise your guarantee, I mean, you got to keep the ebooks, and the coaching is already passed. So man, that's like nothing. I mean, you know, you won't have even paid for that. And you see the value there. The one contractor per area, very hard to put a value on that one because somebody's going to get some kick career response, and you know, we don't want to dilute response. That's valued at $4,800. I mean, actually valued at a whole darn lot more if you do something with it. Offered at $697, but I've got a little bit of a better offer here today on that, which is $297. Yep, I'm going to do the license on this entire thing that you can get your 3 direct mail letters, your postcards, your emails, all the direct hit marketing funnel package. The order button has appeared below. It will stay up there for the duration of the remainder of this webcast. If your area is already taken, you will be notified and you will get refunded. Look, I'm not out for your $297, I can assure you that much. I'm out for a customer who's going to kick tail. That's what we want. We want your story, we want your input, we want your before and your after, we want you to encourage other people. That's what we're looking for out of this thing. This is, look, we're partnering. We're like doing this all together. So I am encouraging you right now to please take what you have seen today and put it in place. I mean, I want you to get clear about your marketing's goals. And this is the summary part right here. You know, we're past the offer. I can't make a whole big deal out of the $297. What I'm going to make a big deal out of, though, is you doing something. Get clear about the goals. I mean, if anything seems wasteful or ineffective to you, get rid of it. Only add back what serves your purposes. I hope that was made clear today. And also to get clear about your ideal customer. Look, you know, we're back to that life's too short thing. I mean, not everybody's a fit for you. We want you to own your chosen market, not just be in the reaction mode all the time. Hey, the phone rang, therefore that's a customer. We want you to have picked, we want you part of that choice, and change your messaging. I can assure you that is the critical moment right there. Look at your ads. We'll critique any ad you want to send to us. You can get this program and we become your critique center. You can send me a video online, which we've done before. We can take a look at your television ads. We can listen to your radio. We can look at your letters. We can go to your website. We have a very quick screening ability on how to discern good web home pages and terrible ones. But if you're going to choose integrated, focused, concentrated message option, they're going to outperform because they're going to build your image, your branding, your leads, your retention, and your referrals. That's what this whole thing was about today. Look, folks, take the stress out of your life trying to have too many things going on at once, never being able to fully be sure, oh, is this message the one that's working? Is that media the one that's working? Forget that crud. Get a direct hit package in your hands. If it doesn't look like something you want, cancel. Sit it back. It's okay. I promise nobody's going to be mad. But at least change what you are doing to see if it can change the results. That's the best way and the fairest way I know how to help you. And let's even take a look at that $297. I mean, what would you have to sell in order to get that back? Not a lot. So that's really not at risk. And as far as our fulfillment, I mean, we're incredibly competitive. You know, we buy stamps from the post office like you do. We buy lists. We pay the list generators the exact same amount. We can send your letter for you. We will put it in the mail, postage the right way, addressed the right way. We put the teaser copy on it the right way. We can send your emails for you, and we will put the subject line in the right way, and we will send them out to your list. We can do this all for you. The entire fulfillment can be taken care of for you here. Now, I'm not touching your Facebook site at all. I'm giving you the post. You don't want us messing with your Facebook site. There's too many back-end coding issues with that, and we do not want to go to the security and the certification and get the authentication to get in there. You don't want a lot of people messing with it. We're going to give you a done post, and you're going to post it. But let's just take a look back at look at what all you're getting there and what we can put in place for you for the $297. So hopefully this is encouraging to you, and I want to also, as an encouragement, look, simplify your marketing, multiply your results. You honest to goodness can do it. Look, the difference between contractors who struggle and contractors who succeed is usually not a difference in skill or integrity. It is the marketing of those skills and integrity that separates them. It has been my honor to speak with you here today, to do the video training. I look super forward to hearing from you, and we have a follow-up in your inbox that includes answering some of the questions, and we are going to be having a live tour of the direct hit packages for the folks who sign up and get them. In other words, you're going to be invited to come see each campaign. We're going to take it apart. We're going to show it to you. You can pick it right there online if you want, but I've got a coach here who's going to join me on a live call. You'll watch your inbox for that, and we will go over it, and you'll just watch on your screen as we go right on into the website and start picking out campaigns. You'll see them, and it's a lot of fun. You'll get to see the Facebook post and the emails. I'm going to be on there, and I'm looking very, very forward to it. A lot of you sent in some awesome questions, and we're going to answer those, as many as we can. I have written the answers to most of them, but we'll verbalize a few too. So with that, thank you very much for your time and attention. I look very, very forward to working with you. We are happy to have you as a customer and a client and someone that we can help make a difference to others. Thank you.